Let me tell you a story about two friends. Grace and Linda graduated from the same university the same year with the same degree and roughly the same starting salary, about $45,000 a year. They both knew they should start investing. They both said the same thing every single year. I'll start next year when I'm making a little more money. The difference is that Grace actually did start. At 25, she opened a basic investment account and started putting away just $200 a month. That's it. $200, less than what most people spend on eating out. Linda didn't. She waited. Not because she was irresponsible, not because she was bad with money. She just kept telling herself the same story. I'll start when I make more, when I'm more stable, when I have a bigger cushion. She finally started investing at 35, same $200 a month, same investments, same returns. Now here's where it gets painful. By the time they both turned 60, Grace had roughly $540,000 in her investment account. Linda had about $215,000. Grace invested a total of $84,000 of her own money. Linda invested $60,000. That's a difference of just $24,000 in contributions. But the difference in their final accounts? Over $325,000. Linda didn't lose $325,000 by making a bad investment. She lost it by waiting 10 years to make a good one. And if Linda had waited until 40, she'd have less than $130,000. At 45, under $70,000. That's the million-dollar mistake. And almost everyone is making it right now. Sound familiar? Yeah, I thought so. My name is Key, and I spend way too much time thinking about why smart people make terrible decisions with their money. If you're someone who knows you should be investing but keeps putting it off, or if you've ever wondered whether the math really matters that much, this is for you. Because today I'm going to show you exactly how much this procrastination is costing you, why your brain is wired to make this mistake, and the simple fix that most people never apply. Here's the thing. The fact that you haven't started investing yet, or that you waited years before you did, isn't because you're lazy. It's not because you're financially illiterate. And it's not because you don't care about your future. It's because your brain is running a program called present bias. Present bias is the tendency to give stronger weight to immediate rewards over future rewards, even when the future reward is objectively larger. Your brain literally discounts future benefits at an irrational rate. Studies have shown that people overvalue immediate gratification by 2 to 4 times compared to future gains. That means your brain treats $100 today as worth $200 to $400 a year from now. Think about what that means for investing. Your brain looks at $200 a month and sees restaurant dinners, a new jacket, a weekend trip. It doesn't see the $540,000 that money becomes in 35 years. And neuroscience backs this up. Immediate rewards activate the emotional part of your brain. Delayed rewards activate the rational part. But here's the problem. In a fight between your emotional brain and your rational brain, the emotional brain wins almost every time. So when you tell yourself, I'll start investing next year, that's not a plan. That's your emotional brain winning again. And it will keep winning until you create a system that takes the decision out of your hands. But before that, let's look at the real cost of waiting. Let's get into the numbers. Assume an average return of 8% per year. If you start investing $200 a month at 25 and continue until 60, you invest $84,000 total. But your final account value is around $540,000. That means over $450,000 comes purely from compound interest. Money created by time. Now let's see what happens when you delay. Start at 25, $540,000. Start at 30, $354,000. You lose $186,000 by waiting 5 years. Start at 35, $215,000. You lose $325,000 by waiting 10 years. Start at 40, $128,000. You lose over $400,000 by waiting 15 years. If you invest $200 a month from 25 to 65, you end up with roughly $878,000. And if you invested $400 instead of $200 starting at 25, you cross $1 million before 60. That's not a wealth gap. That's a timing gap. Now let's address the common excuses. I don't have $200 a month. Take a look at your last 30 days. Subscriptions, delivery fees, impulse purchases. Most people are already spending this amount on things that don't last. It's not about finding money, it's about redirecting it. The market is too volatile. Even the worst market timer, someone who invested at the worst possible time every year, still outperformed someone who waited in cash. Waiting isn't safe. It's expensive. I'll invest after I pay off my debt. If your debt has high interest, yes, prioritize it. But if your debt is low interest, like 4%, and you avoid investing at 8% returns, you're losing money by waiting. You can do both. I don't know enough to invest. You don't need to know everything. You need one thing: a low cost, diversified index fund. That's it. So, what should you do? First, automate it. Set up an automatic transfer from your account right after payday. Don't rely on willpower. Second, start small. If 200 feels like too much, start with 25. The hardest part is starting. Once you start, your identity changes. You become an investor. Third, apply the raise rule. Every time your income increases, invest at least 50% of that increase before you adjust your lifestyle. Fourth, create a future anchor. Use a compound interest calculator. See what your money becomes over time. Make that number real. Let me leave you with this. The $1 million mistake isn't a bad stock. It isn't a market crash. It's the year you said next year. Because you will never feel ready. Ready is not a feeling, it's a decision. And every day you delay, compound interest is working for someone else instead of you. The math doesn't care about your excuses. It only cares about how much you invest and when you start. Grace didn't become wealthy because she was smarter. She became wealthy because she started. That's it. The best time to invest was 10 years ago. The second best time is right now.